Hey everybody, Nicholas Snow here. It is Thursday, May 9th, 2024. I am at the Palm Springs Convention Center where the 12th annual Harvey Milk Diversity Breakfast has just concluded. And yes, it just concluded, but you're in luck because for you it's about to begin. It's my tradition to get here bright and early and to get a prime camera location to bring you most of the event. Now, the reason I say most of the event is for a couple of reasons. Number one, I edit the program to make sure I don't show students under the age of 18 in the program without the consent of them or their parents for a variety of reasons. And I also edit the program to make sure that I don't include items that I don't have the rights to rebroadcast. But other than that, I bring it all to you. And this particular evening, it's morning, but you might be watching it at evening, is honoring Dr. Frank Figueroa with the Harvey B. Milk Leadership Award. Zaylor Stout, author of Our Gay History in 50 States, gives a wonderful, inspiring speech about advocacy. And Monica Ujic is honored with the Outstanding GSA Advisor of the Year Award. And I also want to thank for their support of my show over the years, Willie Ryan and John Pascal and Chad Gardner. Willie and John own 849 Restaurant and Lounge, and Chad and Willie own Willie's Rancho Mirage and 1501 Uptown Gastro Pub. And I couldn't do my work without their important support. I also want to thank the PromoHomo.TV 1000. Who are they? They're people throughout the world that donate as little as $3 a month to help make this program happen. And when you do that, you get a really nice PromoHomo.TV bumper sticker at the $3 a month level. So check that out at patreon.com/PromoHomo.TV. That's patreon.com/PromoHomo.TV. So without further ado, I didn't mention that this event honors Stuart Milk, Harvey Milk's nephew, and he also does this really profound speech that brought me to tears. I hope you'll agree, and stay tuned. The complete breakfast program will be here, except for the food, unfortunately, right after this.
PromoHomo.TV is all about empowering you, our communities, and our world. For their support of PromoHomo.TV, I wish to thank my sponsors, Willie's Modern Fare, 1501 Uptown Gastropub, and 849 Restaurant and Lounge. 3 restaurants, unlimited flavors. Shouting out to my media partners, Pink Media, amplifying PromoHomo.TV across the Twitterverse with their #ILoveGay campaign. GayDesertGuide.lgbt, and KGay 1065 Palm Springs, available worldwide. Ask your smart speaker to play KGAY.
Take me out to California. I feel the day is coming to an end, and my eyes are drawn to southern skies. But I'll be coming home soon. Yeah, I'll be coming home soon.
Harvey Milk Diversity Breakfast, benefiting LGBTQ youth programs and gay straight alliance clubs of the Coachella Valley. We begin this morning by proudly recognizing the ground beneath us. We acknowledge the Agua Caliente people as the original stewards of the land on which we now gather. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work with the indigenous people in this place. We pay our respects to the Agua Caliente people, past, present, and emerging, who have been here since time immemorial. On the night of Harvey Milk's assassination, tens of thousands of people flocked to San Francisco City Hall to hold an impromptu candlelight vigil. Among them, lesbian singer-songwriter Holly Near. Here to perform her arrangement of Holly Near's LGBTQ anthem, Singing for Our Lives, please welcome local performer and humanitarian Keisha D.
Mr. Lewis. Singing for our lives. We are temporary people, and we're singing for our lives. We are just seeking people, and we're singing for our lives. We are just seeking people, and we're singing for our lives. Singing. We are all together, and we're singing for our lives. We are all together. We're singing for our lives. Singing for our lives. We are men of many colors, and we're singing for our lives. We all have many colors. We're singing for our lives. We are getting straight together. We're singing for our lives. We are getting straight together, and we're singing for our lives. We're singing for singing for our lives. We're gentle, loving people, singing for our lives. Oh, hello, singing for our lives. Oh, this is our future. These are the ones that are going to carry on. Singing for our lives. So that's why we're here today, to continue on with these young people. Young, old, straight, gay, strong, resilient. We're singing singing for our lives. We are temporary people, and we're
one here to celebrate a life and honor the legacy of one of our true national LGBTQ+ heroes, Harvey Milk. And we could not be more thrilled to have with us this morning founder and president of the Harvey Milk Foundation, Harvey's nephew, Stuart Milk. More than any other modern figure, Harvey Milk's life and political career embodied the rise of the LGBTQ civil rights movement here in our great state of California, across the nation, and throughout the world. We are so proud and thankful to each of you for being here this morning and making this the largest gathering we've ever seen. In the next hour, we hope to inspire you with stories about our honorees and introduce you to some great LGBTQ students from our valley who are poised to make a difference. And of course, give you an opportunity to support these students and future LGBTQ students right here in the Coachella Valley. Harvey Milk was one of the first openly gay elected officials in the United States. His assassination represented a tragic loss of a key figure in the LGBTQ rights movement. His life and activism inspired countless individuals to become involved in the LGBTQ rights movement and to advocate for social change by running for elected office. At this time, we would like to recognize our local LGBTQ elected officials who have joined us this morning. For the Palm Springs City Council, Mayor Jeffrey Bernstein, Mayor Pro Tem Rhonda Hart, Council Members Lisa Mildred and Chrissy Postage, Cathedral City Council Member Megan Gregory, Desert Hot Springs Council Member Jody Gardner, City of Coachella Council Member Dr. Frank Figueroa, Denver Governor District Led Zendel, and the College of the Desert's Board of Trustees, Ron Oden and Dr. Joe Kennedy. May Harvey's message of hope, authenticity, and power continue to resonate with others around the world to inspire a new generation of elected leadership. So please give a big round of applause for all of our local LGBTQ elected officials. We would also like to recognize our other elected officials and honored guests with us this morning, as listed on the screen. A last-minute ad, County Supervisor Manuel Perez is with us this morning. To Supervisor Perez and all of our honored guests, we thank you for joining us to honor Harvey's legacy and to stand with us as we continue our fight for equality and justice. Let's take a moment to look at the list of all these great people who are joining us this morning and give them a round of applause as well. We also recognize and thank the many cities of the Coachella Valley who have honored us with official proclamations. They include the cities of Palm Springs, Cathedral City, Coachella, Desert Hot Springs, Indian Wells, Indio, La Quinta, Palm Desert, and Rancho Mirage. In addition, we also received proclamations from California Assemblymember Greg Wallace and Riverside County Supervisor Manny Perez. A big round of applause and thanks to all of them for supporting our work this morning. This event is in its 12th year, and each year it just keeps getting better and better. It is time to hear from the co-founder of the event, who is also the president of Palm Springs Pride and the current mayor pro tem of Palm Springs. And he was on KESQ at 4 p.m. yesterday. I hope you all saw it. Please welcome Rhonda Hart.
The Harvey Milk Diversity Breakfast is a program of Palm Springs Pride. It's organized annually by a coalition of business leaders and community members who come together to celebrate diversity, community, and the legacy of Harvey Milk. First, I'd like to recognize our hardworking committee who for months worked to create this event and fill this room with love and support. Committee members, please stand and let's thank them with your applause. And we give special thanks to somebody who wears a lot of hats, Lynn Hammond is the Volunteer of the Year for the City of Palm Springs, but today she is our trophy presenter. So the first time in her life she's been a trophy presenter, and we're happy to have her on stage with us. An event like this costs a lot of money to produce, as you can imagine, and we are incredibly thankful to all the sponsors who stepped up to help make this morning's program possible. Please take time to look over your sponsor list in the program and on the screens and thank them through your patronage. Let's give them a huge round of applause and let them know we appreciate that. Thank you. A huge thank you to Rob Hampton, the team here at Palm Springs Convention Center, the sound and AV crew from Encore, and the employees who've been serving us breakfast this morning. Also, with us today are our next generation of LGBTQ leaders, those who are our students. We are especially proud that about 275 school students, high school, middle school, and COE, and their advisors are with us in the audience today. Thanks to our partners at Safe Schools Desert Cities for organizing and coordinating the students' participation. As Harvey famously said, you've got to give them hope. And we believe that student participation at this event empowers our LGBTQ youth and inspires them to lead. Special thanks to all the student team sponsors who've made it possible for students from the high desert and throughout Coachella Valley to be with us. One last housekeeping note. Many of our students are under 18 years of age. We ask that you please refrain from taking photographs of the students. One of the greatest things the Harvey Milk Breakfast does, it lifts up hundreds of students from throughout the Coachella Valley. And it's a platform for us to share the history and honor Harvey Milk and his legacy. This is an inspirational event for youth and adults alike. The attention, the applause, along with the investment that you give to youth is empowering and liberating. Since the breakfast started in 2012, we've earmarked on average $20,000 a year for LGBTQ youth programming throughout Coachella Valley, and that includes supporting GSA clubs throughout the valley. These dollars, yes, thank you to all of you who helped make it possible. These dollars go directly to youth programs and students who organize within their schools and in their communities. Thank you again for being here this morning, and thanks for supporting the next generation of LGBTQ leaders.
To present the Harvey Milk Leadership Award, please welcome business and community leader Dee Wilson Barton.
Good morning, Palm Springs. You look beautiful today. Just beautiful, especially tables 4 and 20. That's our beautiful team. Okay, I am so thrilled to be with you this morning to honor Dr. Frank Figueroa. Frank is a native of Coachella and the proud son and grandson of local farm workers. Over the years, he has emerged as a trailblazer in our community. Frank is the first openly out elected official in the city of Coachella. advocating for inclusivity. And for Dr. Frank Figueroa, inclusivity included the needs of Latinos, women's rights, labor rights, and LGBTQ rights. His unwavering commitment to prioritizing the needs of Coachella residents comes from his extensive experience in public service. Frank served on the Planning Commission for 7 years, playing a pivotal role in shaping Coachella City's development. He also served on the Southern California Community Services District Board. With over a decade of experience in higher education administration, Frank recognizes the transformative power of education for our young people. And think about that. This is for our group here today. Students, sit up and take notice. Because this leader went from local schools to COD, to University of California at Riverside, then getting his master's in public administration from California Baptist, and his doctorate of education from University of Massachusetts Global. Hear it. Opportunities are here for you. Additionally, Frank has invaluable contribution. He's a financial manager at UC Riverside. Building upon his journey and the opportunities that he was fortunate to receive, Frank strives to ensure that every individual in the Coachella Valley has equal access to educational opportunities. Frank is also a champion of health equity, serving on the board of trustees of Borrego Health and now on the board of the Desert AIDS Project. As a respected leader, Frank Figueroa embodies the values of integrity, compassion, and perseverance. No kidding, you don't get a doctorate without having some perseverance. Driven by his vision of an inclusive and a prosperous Coachella, he continues to serve as a beacon of hope, inspiring others to strive for positive change. Positive change. That's what we're here for today, to inspire all of us. So please, can you join me in welcoming and presenting the Harvey Milk Leadership Award to our very own local son, Dr. Frank Figueroa.
Before I start reading this and it starts rolling out for me, I want to say good morning to everybody, but I also heard the people from India are in town because I heard them singing the proclaim, right? I heard you guys. I heard you all. So, well, good morning to everybody. I have a question for you all this morning, though. I want to ask you, do you see me? Because I did not leap forward. Reflecting on my journey, I realized the weight of being the first, the challenges, the doubts, and the profound impact I had on those who come after. Harvey Milk's legacy isn't just about his success. It's about paving the way for others to see themselves as successful. He walked a path so that those behind him could envision themselves walking it too. Growing up in Coachella, a predominantly Catholic Latino community, being gay was rarely discussed, let alone embraced. I struggled to find my identity amidst the silence and taboos. The absence of representation made it hard to imagine a future where I could be authentically myself. But with the support of my family, especially my father, who championed my authenticity and found the courage, and I found the courage to be able to come out. Today, as we celebrate Harvey Milk Day, I reflect on my journey. While I may not have won my first election, I refuse to give up on my community. Every setback taught me resilience. Every challenge fueled my determination. Eventually, I became the first openly out elected official in the city of Coachella, a milestone I never imagined possible in my hometown. Being the first comes with immense responsibility. It's about more than just breaking barriers. It's about creating opportunities for those to do the same. I stand here not as a solitary figure, but as part of a community that supported me every step of the way. And I want to shout out to table 53, my friends there at table 59, the city of Coachella, my friends on 59, and everybody else that's here that's been my friend across this journey of mine. But my role doesn't end with success. I stand here as someone that the next generation of leaders, especially the youth, like me, once felt invisible. To them, I say, you're not alone. Look around this room at the LGBT community, allies, parents, and friends who stand united today. We are here to support you and to create a space where you can thrive as your authentic selves. Together, we can combat hate and intolerance. Together, let's envision a future where everyone is empowered to embrace their truest selves, where authenticity is not just encouraged, but celebrated. My journey began with the question, do you see me? Today I ask the same of you all. Because when we truly see each other, we become stronger, more resilient, and unstoppable in our pursuit of equality and justice. Thank you.
Wow, congratulations, Dr. Figueroa. We are so lucky to have you here in our valley. Hey, here's something you might not have known about Harvey Milk. Harvey served in the Navy as a dive instructor during the 1950s in San Diego. In 1955, he resigned at the rank of lieutenant junior grade after being officially questioned about his sexual orientation. However, in November of 2021, the Navy officially christened one of its replenishment ships the USNS Harvey Milk. And about a month ago, that ship made a visit to Harvey's home city of San Francisco for the first time. Supports LGBTQ youth programs and Safe Schools Desert Cities. Here to tell us a little bit more about Safe Schools and to introduce our outstanding Youth of the Year, please welcome the president of Safe Schools Desert Cities, my friend, Eric Ornelas.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Safe Schools Desert Cities is dedicated to making a direct impact on the lives of LGBTQ plus youth. We collaborate with gay straight alliances, GSAs in high schools and middle schools across the desert and beyond. Our mission is simple, yet powerful. We strive to create an environment where every middle school, high school, and college student feels safe, accepted, loved, and empowered. We welcome the opportunity to work with students and families when school districts do not follow California laws that provide protections and support for LGBTQ plus students. We assist youth and their parents when bullying surfaces at school and when cyberbullying follows them home. Through our collaborative efforts with the Harvey Milk Breakfast, we foster a sense of belonging and community. We fund field trips, provide transportation to GSA clubs, and support local club activities at school and in the community. Additionally, we make rainbow sashes available to any graduating high school senior who wants to proudly display their identity. We host the Pride Prom, the Rainbow Youth Summit, and a leadership and empowerment camp. We also organize the Youth Zone at the Palm Springs Pride Festival, and we coordinate the largest youth contingent in the U.S. to march in our Pride Parade. Your support of our efforts today is greatly appreciated, and now you have the opportunity to hear from a GSA participant from Coachella Valley High School.
Next up, I am thrilled to introduce our guest speaker to you all. Zaylor Stout serves as a fierce advocate and author on LGBTQ issues. He published his first book titled Our Gay History in 50 States, which highlights significant people, places, and queer facts related to LGBTQ history on a state-by-state basis. Through his law firm, Zaylor Stout Associates, he's represented HIV-positive and transgender employees who were discriminated against at work. He also works with employers to help them foster inclusive workplaces on a proactive basis. Zaylor volunteers through the LGBTQ Law Clinic and formerly served on the board of Reclaim, an LGBTQ nonprofit, and Quorum, the Minnesota LGBTQ Allied Chamber of Commerce. Please welcome author and activist Zaylor Stout.
Alright, so got my photos done. Now back to business. You have no idea how honored I am to be here today and receive this recognition and be able to share my story and to hopefully galvanize you to become more active. Originally, when I would think about LGBTQI+ advocacy, I would think about this guy, right? Yeah, that's me. First day, first grade, 1979. And yes, that's a Tupperware lunch pail and a bow tie. So thank you, Grandma. I almost wear a bow tie today. But you've got to thank Mom for memorializing these significantly important, milestones of you in photos. So I have Mom to thank as it relates to that. But, I think about him. And I think about how his life, how his perspective, how his trajectory might have been different if things were as they are now for queer kids, right? Where you're able to, see out and proud queer folks within your community, in virtually every community there is across the country, where being intimate with your partner is not an automatic death sentence, or would result in you being arrested and having your name and or photo printed in the local newspaper, where you are then outed to your family, your friends, your coworkers, and or your place of worship. Where you could wear 3 or more articles of clothing that relates to the traditionally associated with the opposite sex without fear of being arrested, right? So theoretically, you could just be you. Although thinking about it from that perspective, right, like from you when you were a youth and when you were a kid, even though that's a good place to start, that isn't where that thought process should end. Because today's kids don't have it easy either, right? The most recent 2023 Trevor Project survey of 2,000 respondents from across the country, now these are ages 13 to 24, shared that 1 in 3 LGBTQ+ youth believe they will not live to the age of 35. Now let me say that again. 1 in 3 queer youth don't believe they will live past the age of 35. So today, when I think about LGBTQ advocacy, I think about the day that I participated in a community conversation in 2018 in Minnesota, where I hosted a table and the little sign said, you know, it was about North Carolina, the bathroom building, North Carolina. And my little sign said, transgender rights, it was never about the bathroom. And there were parents that came and sat at the table with their son, Matt. And I could tell that their spirit was really heavy. And they shared their story and their experience about fighting with the local school and school district in regard to getting a gender inclusion policy passed. Now, having a policy like this on the books will establish protocols that all schools would have to abide by to ensure that there was protections for transgender and gender expansive youth at the school. That there would be funding to train faculty members in regards to how to address bullying based on sexual orientation or gender identity in school. Where the computer systems would allow for them to include a student's chosen name to be included in their roles, so that when a substitute teacher comes in and fills in for the regular teacher, that they would not use the student's dead name in front of all of the other students. Where a student's dead name wouldn't accidentally show up in the school yearbook, requiring hours upon hours of printing labels and cutting and sticking them on so that they cover up the dead name of the student. Yeah, important things like that. Like, these are things that are actually happening. So the family was beat down because no matter how hard they tried to be able to make headway, they kept running against this school bureaucracy and were unable to make the change that they felt they needed, not only for their kid, but also the other queer kids at the school. It was then that I thought, well, you know, I have advocacy skills, right? Even though my skills were curated for the courtroom, you know, these are skills that could be useful in other venues. And so that's when my LGBTQ plus advocacy journey began. I was a member of a local Facebook group called Allies of St. Louis Park, which is a first-ring suburb right outside of Minneapolis. And the group was formed right after the election of President 45. Yeah, exactly, right? Everybody knows, like, oh yeah, that time, right? You know, and we as a community knew that we'd have to be proactive in regards to fighting to protect the rights that we already had at the time, and that it was our responsibility and our privilege to be able to advocate for those that were marginalized within our communities. So I joined the fight, and I spearheaded the community's strategy and effort to get the gender inclusion policy passed by the school board. Now, it was a steep learning curve for me because I've been involved in school board politics. I don't have any kids. So, you know, figuring out the politics and the internal policies and the wrangling was something that was necessary in order to be able to make this happen. So, securing this type of progress is rarely a straight line. We ended up having to get the State Department of Education to approve a toolkit that local school districts could then use if they chose to implement the gender inclusion policy. See all those wranglings, right? All these circles? But we never gave up. And, you know, so unfortunately, we were trying to get the buy-in of all the school board members as well, and that was something that wasn't happening. We found out that there were two holdouts. There were two holdouts on the school board. So we chose a different path. We decided to recruit people to be able to run and get elected on the school board so that we would have enough votes to be able to make sure that this policy would pass. And so, long story short, we ended up getting it passed. And we were able to, for the next election, we ended up having a candidates forum where we had all the candidates come up and we got to ask them questions in regard to things that really spoke and focused and related to LGBTQI+ community, which included the gender inclusion policy. And so we supported the candidates that supported us, and we got them voted on by the school board. And it wasn't a quick thing. We got them elected, but there's still some wranglings that had to happen in regards to making things work, but we did end up getting the gender inclusion policy passed. And we were the first suburb in the state of Minnesota to do so, which resulted in many more suburbs being able to do it as well. You see, if I focused on the fact that life today is easier for queer youth than when it was when I was a kid, then I would have missed out on the opportunity to have this positive impact that could challenge, that could provide some positive impact in regard to the life of queer kids today. So if you're wondering what happened to Matt then got to go on to enjoy his high school experience and not have to do the job of adults. It's our job to make sure that kids are protected in schools, right? And he went on to college. He's at the University of Minnesota, and we'll be graduating soon, so excited for that. And I'm like an honorary uncle as part of the family, which I love. But, you know, part of my story as it relates to the book as well is, you know, I got to meet Dennis and Judy Shepard when they came out to speak at the nation's largest National Coming Out Day luncheon, which Stuart Milk also came to speak at, and that's when I originally got to meet him. And it reminded me of a book idea that I had when I was on the road trip years earlier, and this was during the marriage debate time, right? And little did I know that Judy Shepard would later go on to agree to write the foreword for my book. And my book has since been added to the banned book list. You know, it was recently in the Security Exchange Commission filing where you had, you know, conservative activists that were going after woke corporations and their charitable giving. Yeah, really happened. That's not nothing up. So, you know, my question for you today is, what are you doing to positively impact the lives of queer youth today? You know, advocacy is something that's very personal, I know, and there's no right or wrong way to go about it. Some folks like lobbying and going, you know, reaching out to their local, state, federal legislators. Some go to school board meetings, you know, and advocate for kids, even though they don't have any kids. And some provide financial support to organizations that are on the ground doing the work to be able to, doing the ground on the work for communities that are in most need of help. Some purchase 1, 75, 150, 300 LGBT history books that get to get donated to GSAs and LGBT nonprofits that are in contact with those that need our support the most. As I mentioned earlier, again, 1 in 3 queer kids don't see themselves living at 35, and it's our responsibility to change that perspective for them. So whatever it is that you do, I ask you to do something. Because the reason we are all here today is because of people like Harvey Milk, who came before us and stood up and fought and advocated for us, even if we didn't know that they were advocating for us. You know, I know when I was young, I didn't know who Harvey Milk was, and it's sad that it takes us time as queer adults to finally come in contact with our history. As a young black kid, you know, I remember not learning black history in schools, but I had the privilege of being in a black family. So I got to learn about my black history from my family. And so think about, how often do queer kids get raised in queer homes? And if it's not often, then when and how is it that they get to learn about this culture, our history, right? So it's our responsibility to make sure that we're sharing that and paying it forward. So given that we're still here today, and it's our obligation again to support organizations like Palm Springs Pride and the Harvey Milk Foundation and continue to pay it forward. So I hope Stuart forgives me for using his uncle's famous line, but my name is Zaylor Stout, and I'm here to recruit you. I'm here to recruit you to support and advocate for the lives of queer youth. Will you join me?
Yes!
I know we can do better than that. Will you join me? I'll be participating in book signing at the registration desk right outside after the event, and I look forward to seeing you. Thank you all so much.
Wow, okay, thank you, Zaylor, for your activism, advocacy, and passionate fight for our LGBTQ youth. One of the things we're supporting this morning are all the Gay Straight Alliance clubs in our Valley's middle schools, high schools, and in COD. These organizations are so important for LGBTQ students as they play a vital role in creating a more inclusive and equitable school environment where all students feel accepted, respected, and valued for who they are. At the heart of every GSA is the advisor, usually a teacher or advisor who gives of their time and compassion to create a safe space where students can express themselves freely, share their struggles, and receive emotional support. This morning, we are thrilled to honor one of those exceptional GSA advisors from one of our local high schools. Monica Ujic has been teaching now and serving as the Gay Straight Alliance advisor at Shadow Hills High School for 11 years. As an ally, her goal as an advisor is for students to know they have a safe space on campus. She also works to promote other safe spaces and encourages other allies on our campus to do the same. So please help me welcome our outstanding GSA Advisor of the Year, Monica Ujic. All right, Monica, let's take a seat. You know, I do this every day at 4 p.m. on KUSQ News Channel 3, so it's fun to do it with an audience, interviewing people. So, Monica, I love the support you've got in the back. Are those your students?
Yes, they are.
Shadow Hills High School?
Shout out to Shadow. Woo!
So, I love it. First off, Monica, let me ask you, why did you decide to become a GSA advisor 11 years ago?
Yeah, it was my first year teaching, and I just asked the ASB advisor, do you need any help? Is there any club that needs me? And she said, yes, we need a GSA advisor. And I said, sign me up. I'm ready to help all of our students, especially the GSA students. I love you guys.
That's fantastic. So let me ask you, how have you seen GSA help and change students at your school?
Our GSA is just there to make sure the students know that they do have a safe space, so they know my room. They know that we're out there at lunches, during Club Rush, during our National Coming Out Day, Spirit Day. We promote going to Pride Prom, the Pride Parade, so they just know that we're here, we're visible, and they can always come talk to us.
What is the most rewarding part for being a GSA advisor?
The most rewarding part is being able to take the students to events like this, Harvey Milk every year. We go to Pride Parade and walk in the parade every year. From our donations that we've gotten from the Palm Springs Gay Men's Choir, which is somewhere out here. Thank you for your support, and we're able to just, go out into the community. We went out to the LGBT Community Center just a couple weeks ago, so it's really nice to see that they do have support out in the community.
And you mentioned the support. What about Safe Schools Desert Cities? How have they supported you?
Safe Schools has been amazing. Again, they're the ones that provide the buses to come here to Harvey Milk. They're the ones that provide us all of our food and drinks at the zone at the Palm Springs Pride Parade. They provide us with a backpack of Pride gear that we give out, pronoun pins and rainbow flags and temporary tattoos. It's just, everything is so great. So thankful.
I know you've done this already for 11 years. How long do you think you will continue to serve as GSA advisor? Your kids are listening.
I plan on teaching the full 30 years, so until I retire, then I will be the GSA
rest of your
advisor.
career.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Let's give Monica a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you for the amazing work you do every day at GSA Civics. We're so lucky to have you. Don't you guys agree? All the way in the back, Charlotte Heights. Another big round of applause for Monica. Thank you so much.
Like a diamond, you alone. You cut my heart like glass, just like that. Like a lion, uncontrolled. Your mark is on my back, just like that. In it for the big thrill. Yeah, you play games with my mind, always all of the time. In it for the big win. Yeah, you own all of my mind, always all of the time, all the time. tyrant, lose control. We like to burn out fast. We're hot like that, like a diamond. You're alone. You cut my heart like that, just like that. Yeah, in it for the big thrill. Yeah, you play games with my mind, always, all of the time. Yeah, in it for the big win. Yeah, you own all of my mind, always, all of the time, all the time.
To present the Global Activist Award, please welcome Latino and LGBTQ activist, San Diego Commissioner and Harvey Milk Foundation Board Member, Nicole Murray Ramirez.
I'm too old for, what are they, teleprompters? Good morning, Palm Springs. Buenos dias, mi compadres and mi comadres. It's wonderful to be back at what I believe to be now the gayest capital of America, Palm Springs, California. My pronouns are Your Majesty, Your Most Imperial Majesty, or, if we've known each other since the 1960s, Madge. On a serious note, I want to acknowledge the land that we stand on and acknowledge the beautiful people of the First Nation, our Native American community, that has always acknowledged LGBTQ people as two-spirited. We must also acknowledge that this is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Persons Month and do much more to focus on this issue. May is also Jewish American Heritage Month. In this past week, we observed International Holocaust Remembrance Day. The rise of anti-Semitism and hate crimes against the Jewish community in the United States is at an all-time high. We must remember that the Jewish community stood by and were major supporters of the Black Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s, and also they were with the Latino-Filipino farm workers movement of the 1970s. The Jewish community has always stood with and supported our LGBT struggle for equality. And I believe now more than ever that it's our turn to stand with the Jewish community. May is also Asian and Pacific Islander Month, and we must also stand with them as the rise of hate crimes continue against this community. But last but not least, May is also Military Appreciation Month. And as a former Miss USO of 1955, and from San Diego, the home of the largest military complex in the Western Hemisphere, I would like all of our veterans and active military to please stand so we can acknowledge your service to our country. I've been to Harvey Milk dinners and breakfasts. Palm Springs has the biggest and most diverse Harvey Milk event in the nation, I can tell you that. But we can't do it alone, so I also like our allies and straight friends to stand up so we can thank you. support for LGBT. I also bring you greetings for the first elected gay mayor and mayor of color of San Diego to our glory. And also greetings from the state president emeritus and our next first woman and lesbian governor of California, Toni Atkins. I have to give that proud. We of the International Bureau Court System are proud that we led the national letter writing campaigns that resulted in the Harvey Milk U.S. postage stamp and the USNS Harvey Milk. And just recently, I also got a tour of the Harvey Milk ship with its Captain White. And he gave me some of signed lithographs of the ship. And I want to present one to a man who has played an important role in keeping Harvey Milk's legacy alive, and will be honored on May 24th at the 16th Annual San Diego Harvey Milk Diversity Breakfast. Yes, your Honorable Mayor Pro Tem, Rondi Hart. So this was a lithograph commissioned by the Secretary of Navy, and it's signed right here also by the ship captain. Here. Or here. This morning, I have been given the great honor of introducing our nation's premier LGBTQA global activist. Indeed, the LGBTQA's American ambassador to the world. A man who has been on the front lines, on the ground, giving hope and support to emerging LGBTQ communities in over 60 nations and 6 continents. I've had the sincere honor to have worked with Cesar Chavez, Harvey Milk, David Mixter, Robin Tyler, Cliff Jones, Roy Cherry, and many others. But this morning's honoree stands alone. Among the many foregoing to nations that he offers not only hope, he has been greeted at times with mobs shouting, "Queer American Jew, go home." Many times I hear people say that he walks in his uncle's footsteps. But the truth is, he has taken those footsteps further and brought his uncle's hope to our LGBTQ brothers and sisters and nations where they are being arrested, and nations where they are illegal, and nations where they are imprisoned, and nations where they are murdered. Not one American activist is doing what he has been doing for well over a decade. I've been with him in Central America and Europe and witnessed firsthand how people react when he's there giving them hope, when he's there giving them support. He's a great speaker, so I'm not going to say more and let him tell you about his message of hope. But let me say this. When the history of our great LGBTQA civil rights movement is written, it will speak well. It will speak of the man who gave the global LGBTQ community hope. Our LGBTQ American ambassador to the world, Stuart Milk. Before Stuart says some words, we have a special surprise for you from Mayor Jeffrey Bernstein and the entire Palm Springs City Council. Mayor.
Good morning, everybody. What an honor it is to have Stuart Milk here for the Harvey Milk Breakfast. In addition to being the founder and co-president of the Harvey Milk Foundation, Stuart Milk is a trailblazer in his own right. He has fought for LGBT struggling communities in over 60 countries on 6 continents. He's made a difference not only nationally but globally in the fight for LGBT inclusivity, equality, and acceptance around the world. So on behalf of the entire City Council of Palm Springs, all of whom are with me today, Councilmember Grace Garner, Councilmember Christy Holstage, Councilmember Lisa Middleton, and Mayor Pro Tem Rhonda Hart, we are pleased to present this proclamation to Stuart Milk. And I'll just read the last paragraph. Now therefore, we the City Council of the City of Palm Springs, California, by the power vested in us, honor Stuart for his outstanding achievements and unwavering dedication to the pursuit of equality and justice for all, and hereby proclaim the 9th of May, 2024 to be Stuart Milk Day.
Thank you very much to the City of Palm Springs and to everyone involved in the breakfast and this amazing event. I have to give particular thanks. Some of the words that were said and some of the things that I have participated in was due to a team of amazing, dedicated individuals behind the Harvey Milk Foundation. Miriam Richter, who's here with us today, Julie Stern, Jan Stevens, Marcy Nathan, Raphael Marquez, Mike Colby, and Andrew Bonfi. And thank you, Nicole, for that very kind introduction. I also have to thank the team from CMG here today. CMG, by the way, represents the estate of Harvey Milk, the family, Harvey's image and his legacy and his personality rights. And he's in good company with CMG because they represent Rosa Parks, they represent Maya Angelou, they represent the King family, they represent some amazing personalities that Harvey's in good company with. It's great to see Lisa Middleton. For those of you who don't know, I served on the board of Equality California for over a decade as well, and they've done some incredible work, but we had some very dark days through the marriage equality battle and some dark days through attempts to attack our trans and non-binary brothers and sisters, and so it's great to see Lisa, and I know that Rhonda Hart does so much with pride here, but he also does it internationally with his work on Interpride, which has been a partner of mine for many, many years. And I want to thank every one of you who's taken your time today to come out to an event like this that celebrates not just the LGBTQ community, but the full diversity that's within our community. And we represent everyone, every ethnic group, every color skin, every religion, every national origin. And when we celebrate our community, we have to celebrate all those divisions and separations, because the binding element of us is that we would come together to celebrate diversity, and it should be diversity without any any exception, because a diverse world is a strong world. Now, I have to point out that an event like this cannot happen today in most of the world. And I think it's sometimes hard for us to realize and understand that. So there's a new term in the civil society community, well, it's new to someone old like me, but there's a new term called the global north. So, and it's not necessarily just always the northern hemisphere, but the global south, really most of the world, where a majority of the world's population live, they could not do a breakfast like this that is celebrating and inclusive of the LGBTQ community. Couldn't even do a breakfast like this that would be celebrating and inclusive of the full spectrum of women's rights. And I point that out because there's more work for us to do. So it's like a tale of two cities, and I'm mentioning two things because I love all the youth that are here today. And I've gotten to speak to some of them, and they're amazing. I love the optimism. I love the full-on authenticity that comes from them. But I do want them to know that the world is still a very prejudiced place, because we've come forward, we could easily go back, and the world is still back. So it's like Tales of Two Cities. And I'm mentioning cities that I've been to in the last year. So Copenhagen versus Belgrade, night and day. In Belgrade, you'll have 300,000 people marching in the street against queer people to 200 marching for a pride parade. In Copenhagen, you'll have a handful of protesters and the entire city supporting us. Key West and Bridgetown. Key West, not far from each other, but Bridgetown in Barbados, Key West, same thing. I'll just briefly tell you, I did an event with the State Department last year in Key West in Bridgetown, and the event was held at the Mount Gay Wine Distillery, which has a conference center. Perfect name for a queer conversation. And but it was interesting. I went into the parking lot of this huge event space, and there was not a car. I said, "Is no one coming?" "Oh no, we're sold out, we're full." And I said, "Well, why are there no cars?" And they said, "Because no one wants their car to be seen." And so they park miles away and walk into any type of gay event. And that's happening in Barbados. So for those of you who have taken cruises there, we do have issues, or Vancouver and Kampala. I'm heartbroken. I've done work in Kampala, and of course, as probably most people know, that Kampala is one of the nations that has gone backwards to the point of recriminalizing LGBTQ people to the point of the death penalty. Or Sydney and Tunis. Sydney, where World Pride was just held and a great celebration, and Tunis, where again we have to find meeting spaces where people can make sure they're not seen. So I was only given 5 minutes. I might go a little bit over because I like to tell stories. But one thing that people have said is that Harvey was an ordinary person. I mean, I knew my uncle very well. I was 17 when he was assassinated. He was nothing but ordinary. And I say that in this way. He told me, and he firmly believed, that none of us are ordinary. There is no such thing as ordinary. We all have this amazing ability to impact and to play our role and our purpose in life. And you can't do that when you're wearing a mask. And this is the important concept. And that mask cannot be put on your face for any reason that society is telling you. Again, not just because of your sexuality, not just because of your gender identity, but because of your ethnic background or your religion. Your authenticity makes you extraordinary. And so it does, and it's wonderful. So let me tell you one story about the power of youth and the power of your authenticity. In 2016, Carlos Cruz, the first openly gay elected official in Peru, asked me if I would come to Lima because he was bringing up a bill for civil unions. And we started the day by the Congress in Lima, in Peru, giving me their humanitarian diploma for the work that I did. And I accepted it, and we had some press coverage, and it was pretty controversial because it was and still is a very Catholic country, and the bishop in Lima fiercely homophobic, and Carlos is a brilliant politician, and so he held that ceremony before the vote on civil unions. And so they had the vote on civil unions. It was defeated, 1 to 99, and I gave them back the diploma and said, when you pass equality, please invite me back. And Carlos had planned a march, because he knew how the vote was going to go, from Congress to Liberty Square, where they had a double-decker bus set up to speak, and it was a long march. The press had the bishop there, they were quoting him, they were being actually very critical of this whole thing that we were doing. And all of a sudden, as we began to march, they started zeroing in, asking people. Most people were there protesting us. There were very few marchers, but one person who was marching was this young 16-year-old. And they focused in on him, and if there could be a typical Peruvian teenager, that is Ciro. And I asked Carlos, do you know who they're talking to? He said, I don't know that kid. And anyway, all of the networks focused in on him, as one reporter said, are you here supporting the homosexuals and the lesbians, or are you here supporting the quote-unquote good people? That's the way it was phrased. And he said, I'm here supporting the LGBTQ community. And they said, oh. They said, why? He said, it's the right thing to do. They said, are you gay? He paused, he looked into the national cameras in Peru and said, yes. And they said, when did you come out? He said, just now. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. That was unplanned, unmasked, and it was too much of a good story for it not to become immediately. Just every news station had, hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. And as we were walking along this long walk, the press was following Ciro, and we put him up to the front, and we started to find out that his mother worked for the bishop. Oh. And was fiercely homophobic. And he was petrified that he was going to disappoint his mother. And he got a phone call as we were marching from his uncle, who called him a faggot and hung up on him. And Cyril started to get very worried. As we finally reached Liberty Plaza, the press again converged because a woman was coming near Cyril in tears. It was his mom who said in front of the national press in Peru, Ciro, everything I ever told you about this issue was wrong, because you are perfect, and I love you, and I support you. idea how we would change how the reporting would be on this issue. It was a young 16-year-old who simply refused to take off his mask. So let me close, because they only gave me 5 minutes and I'm over that. Sergio Garcia from the Desert Sun interviewed me for this, and one of the questions he asked, and it's kind of a usual question that I get, but he said, you know, what would my uncle think about a day like today? Could, you know, or are you sad that he didn't get to see a day like today? Well, the truth of the matter is, I'm not sad, because he saw today. See, my uncle dreamed of this day. Therefore, he saw that. So for those of you who know that when he was assassinated, he prophetically wrote that the bullets that smash through my brain destroy every closet door. He knew that that was going to happen. He didn't know how and he didn't know when, but what gave him the courage every day to go into office and continue to call people to join him to come out, and no one was doing it then, what gave him that courage was this day. You all. He dreamed of you all, and you have made his dream come true. And I'm telling you, the last image that my uncle had in his head, as those bullets were killing him, was all of you, living your life openly, authentically, and I thank you very much.
Wow, that was powerful. Thank you, Stuart. We have another treat for you this morning. Next, we're going to hear from a local high school student who is the recipient of a Burton-made Pride Scholarship Award, which is sponsored by Brothers of the Desert. She's going to share her winning essay with us this morning. So please welcome Jessica Collins.
Hi, my love bugs, my College of the Desert friends. My name is Jessica Collins. I want to say thank you real quick to Brothers of the Desert for giving me this award and opportunity. And then another thank you to my Saga president, Sunny, for always being a support, my advisor, Mazzoli, and Cody, and also our ally advisor, Professor Carey, and my mother, Elwin. So my name is Jessica Collins, and I am a junior performing arts major at College of the Desert, and I identify as a pansexual LGBTQIA student. Being part of this community is difficult in many ways, seeing as though we are not considered the societal norm. Although we are becoming more accepted in the 21st century, there are still many obstacles we have to overcome. As a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, I have maintained and plan to continue creating a safe space for women as well as the racially and sexually diverse. Since 2020, I have worked for a local nonprofit organization called Buddha Bullying as a women's ambassador. Buddha Bullying is a youth development and suicide prevention organization that provides mentoring opportunities, educational resources, and mental health support to youth and families adversely affected by bullying. As a women's ambassador, I have spoken to over 3,000 students, staff, and families about my experience through bullying and being a student who's experienced both parents being incarcerated. How I overcome and what to do in these scenarios, as well as providing my social media as a safe person students can talk to. Through Buddha Bullying, not only did I get to help students in the Coachella Valley, but LA County and Nairobi, Africa as well. Springs Pride, Trans Pride, Buddha Bullying, Kick Bullying in the Curb, and the No to Bullying Symposium held right here. These efforts did not go unrecognized as I was named Ambassador of the Year as well as a Young Community Philanthropist on the news. Not only have I been with Buddha Bullying, but at College of the Desert, I am a Pride student leader. At the Pride Center, I'm currently Vice President of the Sexuality and Gender Alliance Club, and as a student leader, I was able to co-plan the Palm Springs Pride Parade setup for College of the Desert. I also volunteered my time to choreograph and perform a dance with other members for the parade. During Pride, I noticed that the advisors I helped to train in the Safe Zone Ally training were also volunteers. This was one of my proudest moments because it showed the LGBTQIA+ community means something and that the Gender and Sexual Diversity Pride Center doesn't go unnoticed. Through my education, my goals are to achieve my associate's degree and certifications within the next 2 years, create more and all-inclusive events as a Pride student leader, and as a Pride student leader, run for president of Saga next semester, and work more on my music and songwriting. After completing my education, I plan to own multiple businesses, such as a gym and dance studio that maintains a safe space for LGBTQIA+ members, women, minorities, and allies alike, seeing as though I fall under each category. The other businesses I would want to open would be a nonprofit to help low-income students whose families can't afford extracurriculars like the arts, STEM, sports, competitions, and etc. Growing up, I could not afford these activities, so I would love to give the younger generations the opportunities that I was unable to have. Growing up, I have undergone many different situations in life. As a child, I have experienced bullying because of the color of my skin, interests, and issues at home, to the point where I tried committing suicide. I was a victim of domestic violence and rape until the age of 7 when my mother was convicted and I was placed under the guardianship of my grandmother. At the time, the bullying got worse, and that's when I decided to try and make an attempt on my life. My grandmother put me in therapy and my mother gained custody of me. And then in high school, I had to deal with homophobia, bullying, and homelessness, which I still deal with today. What helped me get through was my love for performing arts and involvement on campus, as well as the support from my grandmother. All my life experience have been lessons for me to be a better person, not just for myself, but for my community and future children. I'm grateful for the scholarship as it will help me to reach my academic and career goals. Thank you.
Jessica, wasn't she fabulous? I am so inspired by all of our smart and wonderful students this morning. Doesn't it feel great to support these students and help them on their way in the world? Well, are you ready to help another class of local LGBTQ students? Because together we can create a brighter and more equitable future for all of them. Here to tell us how we can all be there as catalysts for positive change is my friend, TV personality, and community leader, Scott Evans.
Oh, good morning. Welcome back to day 4 of the Met Gala. No, you all look a lot better than Kim Kardashian. Now, I have to say, I am completely bowled over by how many students are here this morning. In fact, someone backstage told me that there are more students here this morning than the total number of adults who attended the first 2 years of the breakfast combined. That's progress. That's amazing. And the bravery of these students to show up here, stand on this stage as their authentic selves, I mean, it humbles a lot of us in this room. And to the students, I hope you know that even if we don't know you by name individually, look around this room. We are all so damn proud of you. When I was your age, oh God, I really just said that, didn't I? Oh God, I'm sorry, they're so young, it's like looking at a sonogram. When I was your age, we didn't have gay straight alliances. We didn't really have out students or education about pronouns or identity or the collective queer experience. I mean, the closest I came to coming out in high school was at my junior Halloween dance when I attended dressed as Norma Desmond from Sunset Boulevard. I did, but I chickened out and I told everybody I was a fortune teller. I went to Catholic school for 14 years. Where are my recovering Catholics? I see you, I see you. And the closest thing, of course, we ever got to drag were the priests in their dresses. So, to me, the gay club that we had was the drama club. That was the original safe space for many gay students, and by the way, some fierce lesbians who created the best sets you've ever seen in your life. Yes, but today, GSA clubs are thriving in the Valley, and youth are benefiting from a variety of programs supported by funds raised right here at the Harvey Milk Diversity Breakfast. Let's show them that you have an unwavering commitment to make a difference in the lives of our local Coachella Valley LGBTQ youth. All right, I think that's it. Get those envelopes in the air. I see some in the back. I see some over here. Thank you all for your generosity. It was great to be here. What a beautiful morning. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Scott. Well, as our program winds down, we take a moment to give thanks to all of you for attending and to our sponsors. Special thanks go out to all the table sponsors and student table sponsors that are acknowledged in the program. And as is our tradition, we ask you to go out and tell your story. Let others know that you were here this morning. Have conversations and post on social media. Together we can break down the barriers of discrimination, hatred, and bullying, and we can sow the seeds of equality and social justice for all. Harvey Milk spoke the words of hope, and now it is our job to let those words of hope echo far and wide. To close out our event this morning, we have a very special performance from a Harvey Milk Diversity Breakfast alum. He is a Palm Springs resident and was honored here in 2014 with the Outstanding Youth Award while attending Cathedral City High School and was a member of their GSA. And now he credits his mentors, Doug Hairgrove and Warren Woody Wood from Safe Schools and past LGBTQ activists for creating the empowering environment in which he thrives. We are thrilled to welcome him back 10 years later to close out this morning's program. With his rendition of Michael Bublé's mega hit, Feeling Good, please welcome back Matthew Hocutt.
Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Butterfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, you know. Dragonfly all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when the day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world
Oh, it's good to be back! You guys know how I'm feeling. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Let's give it up to the GSAs one more time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, the stars are when they shine. You know how I feel. Center the pine. You know how I feel. Oh, freedom is a mind. I love how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. A new dawn, a new day, a new life. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling
Thank you for joining us for the Coachella Valley's 2024 Harvey Milk Diversity Breakfast. Please remember to make your donation before leaving by scanning the QR code, or you can donate on our website at pspride.org. Thanks again for all your continued support, and we look forward to seeing you again next year.
So, I hope that you enjoyed the show. I enjoy bringing it to you. It's one of the things that gives my life meaning and purpose, to capture the history of our LGBTQ plus community, to preserve it for destiny, and to bring it to you. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
In a safe place, I got room to breathe. Been a long chase, but at last